Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with OddsJam. As you guessed it, here to give you some NBA player prop best bets for today. I got 7 NBA player props that I have already locked in that I'm going to talk you through that we will get into shortly. Before I get started, I would appreciate if you could like the video if you have not yet already, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. If you've been enjoying these, that helps me out a ton, so I would appreciate that. And then, of course, if you want to find me on the social medias, you can at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here at Jedi Modi, on Pickett at OddsJam_Matt. To do a recap from yesterday, as I've been doing, so far this week. Another rough day. It is kind of funny. It's like when I have a good player prop day, I have a good day overall. When I have a bad player prop day, I have a bad day overall. Yesterday, down $313 total. Still up for the month at least, which I will take. And then on these player props, I went 2 and 3. So I had 5. I won 2 and I lost 3. To go through it, I won one Jokic one. I won him going under 5.5 assists, but I lost him going under 0.5 made 3-pointers. In the Hawks game, I lost DeAndre Ayton going over 34.5 points, rebounds, assists, and I lost Trae Young going under 2.5 made 3-pointers. And then in the late games, I won Grayson Allen going over 2.5 rebounds. Of course, the plays I won all happen to be heavily limited, so it goes. But today, I got 7 more, already locked these in, hoping for a lot of luck. Not luck, hoping for the mathematical profitability of these bets to come through. I had 2 winning days in a row. Now I've had 2 losing days in a row. Such is the variance of sports betting. So the first play that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is Scotty Barnes over 4.5 assists. So this play is currently at plus 115 odds at PointsBet. So I locked this in. I actually got it for worse odds. I got it for plus 110. So plus 115 is even better. Of course, PointsBet limits me to like only being able to win $4.99. But for those of you who are locking this in, I would recommend putting 3/4 of a unit on it. In terms of why I like this one, everything is pulled and derived in terms of profitability from these no vig odds you see here. The numbers you see here, it's at, in this case, plus 106, essentially plus 106.5, can be viewed as the true line of what this market, in this case, the Scotty Barnes over 4.5 assists, the true line of what that market should be priced at. No vig odds you will see show up on every single positive EV play. And as you're scrolling through, you can view it as the true line. Why is it the true line? Why is it the perfect line of what a market should be priced at? It's because of all of the work OddsJam did prior to bets showing up on the positive EV page. OddsJam consistently tracks previous betting opportunities. Like it's currently ongoing. So they track the data as sports are being played as the days go on. So it's not like they tracked bets up until a certain time period and then it stopped. No, they're constantly monitoring previous betting opportunities to determine what sportsbooks are consistently the best at pricing odds. And the interesting part about that is it depends on the sport, on the market, on everything. So some sportsbooks might be better at the NFL. Some might be better at the NBA. Some might be better, sharper, specifically with player props. OddsJam tracks all of that data. And then these no vig odds are pulled from a weighted average from all of those sharp sportsbooks with the vig removed. So if you kind of want to think about it from like the beginning to end life cycle, OddsJam tracked what sportsbooks were consistently the best, in this case specifically at NBA player props, collected that data, removed the vig from the whatever 5 sportsbooks we want to call as sharp, using a weighted average, spits out these no vig odds here that can be viewed as the true line, anywhere in which we can get better odds, more favorable odds than the OddsJam perfect line is going to be profitable. In this case, the play is Scotty Barnes over 4.5 assists. If you remove the vig from literally every single book, except for Play Maverick, this plus 115 is better odds. When I say better, I mean higher payout than the no vig line of all of these different sportsbooks. Really, really good play here. Next up, we're looking at Lamelo Ball to go under 3.5 made 3-pointers. Another play that I think is really good, that I like a lot. It's at plus 106 odds at FanDuel. I have already locked this one in. If we want to scroll down right here, Lamelo Ball under 3.5 made 3-pointers, plus 106 odds. Not limited on FanDuel, so was able to get, was able to get the full $75 on this one, 3/4 of a unit. OddsJam Perfect Line prices this at plus 103. FanDuel offers it at, plus 102.85. I'm rounding up. FanDuel prices it at plus 106. The gap between those two numbers is your profitability. And then I do this with every single player prop, every single bet. It's not limited to player props. It's every single bet. You want to look at where Lamelo Ball, you want to look at where the odds of the bet you're placing and compare that to the rest of the markets. And this is actually really good. So plus 106 at FanDuel. Some sportsbooks favor this under, right? Like plus 106. I'm assuming everybody knows this. Anything you bet plus money means that if your win percentage is exactly 50%, you will be profitable, right? Plus money. Your profit is more than your risk. That's what plus money means. Unless it's at exactly plus 100, then it's 50-50. But anything above that. We'll look at like Caesars, DraftKings, Pinnacle. They all favor this going under. And then there are other sharp sport, like BetOnline slightly favors the over, but it's still plus EV if you remove the VIG. FoxBet at minus 110. Then PointsBet and BetRivers at minus 104. But this plus 106 is clearly an outlier compared to the majority of the sports books. And that's what we're looking for when we're placing bets. Is the bet that I'm placing an outlier or not? Is it an outlier to the sharp sports books or not? So this is the second play that I've already locked in for this video. Lamelo Ball under 3.5 made 3-pointers. Next up, we're looking at Fred VanVleet to go over 4.5 rebounds. This is at plus 120 odds at Caesars and BetMGM. I locked this one in at Caesars, another book that doesn't have me limited, so I'm able to get the full 3/4 of a unit on this one. OddsJam Perfect Line prices this just below plus 117, so that's kind of where the profitability comes from there. And then same thing, I do this every single time I place a bet. Compare the odds of the bet you're placing to every other sportsbook. And if, again, it's the same thing as the other two plays. If you remove the VIG from every single sportsbook, this plus 120 beats the no VIG odds of the majority of sportsbooks. The only book that it doesn't is this BetRivers. Now, obviously, that's the case because it's showing up on the positive EV page, but you still like to have that comfort and that data showing you, okay, this plus 120 beats the no VIG line of legitimately, not every single one, the majority of sportsbooks that price it. And if you're placing bets that are outliers to the majority of sportsbooks, that will be profitable in the long run. Yes, you'll have days like I've had the past 2 days where I've been down both days. You'll also have days like 3 days ago where I was up $1,700. So that's kind of just the cyclical nature of sports betting. There are going to be ups, there are going to be downs. Should be more ups than downs, should be significantly more ups than downs. And if not, then I recommend emailing us and kind of seeing where your strategy went wrong. But you can accept the bad days when you know that heavily weighted towards the good days. So this is play number 3, Fred VanVleet over 4.5 rebounds. Next up, play number 4, we got Buddy Hield over 5.5 rebounds. This is at plus 125 odds at FanDuel. I locked this one in. Buddy Hield, where is that? So 6+ rebounds. That's how it's listed on FanDuel. It's to record 6+ rebounds. It's the same thing as over 5.5. $75, 3/4 of a unit on this one. And then same thing here. Plus 125 is a clear outlier compared to every other sports book. Every book is basically between plus 100 and plus 110. All 15 to 20 cents, 25 cents below where FanDuel is pricing this at plus 125. So play number 4, Buddy Hield over 5.5 rebounds. Next up, didn't like these two, so we skipped them. And when I mentioned this before, but when I say I don't like something, I'm saying I don't like the profitability, the outlier of the bet itself. And I'm not saying that I don't like it for my own basketball reasons, but I don't like how much of an outlier it is. Sometimes it's not an outlier, and that's why I don't like it. So next up, Gordon Hayward over 13.5 points, plus 100 odds at FanDuel. I locked this one in, as you can see right here. Gordon Hayward, $75 on this bad boy. Plus 100, as I mentioned before, basically means 50-50. So as long as the majority of sportsbooks favor it going over, that's a good sign. And we see Caesars, we see DraftKings, we see Pinnacle heavily favoring this going over. We see Fox Bet have it at 50-50, which is fine. And then some of them that don't favor it going over, but the majority do. And that's why the plus 100 is positive expected value. This is a good play. Gordon Hayward over 13.5 points. I believe that is play number 5 or 6. It was play number 5. Play number 6, we have Lamelo Ball over 7.5 assists. I'll go through these quickly. Couple books are closer, like PointsBet, like BetRivers. But then we have like Caesars, DraftKings, Pinnacle at minus 103, or in the minus 100 numbers, minus 103 to minus 106. We see Fox Bet, BetOnline, plus 105, plus 106, plus EV, OddsJam perfect line, pricing it below this number at plus 117. Locked in this one as well. Lamelo Ball over 7.5 assists that I locked in. And then the last one that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is Alperen Sengun over 8.5 rebounds, minus 102 odds at FanDuel. Kind of similar logic. You look at the sharp sportsbooks, the majority of sportsbooks favor this going over, have it for better odds than the minus 102 with the VIG removed. This is one that I locked in here as well, over 8.5 rebounds, risked to win 75 bucks. And that is it. So tons of player props for you guys to lock in. Let's turn this thing around. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff helps me out a ton. Find me on the social medias if you want. And that's going to be it. So appreciate everybody watching and have a good one.